What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you for making a little time out of your day, Sunday afternoon, Lions Talk Live. As most of you guys know, tomorrow I'm going to have my updated 53-man roster. Try to do that the day or 2 days after each preseason game, just because some guys are going to rise, some guys are going to fall. I think the coaches, the fact that they put some guys on the field are a big tell where people are with things, and also how many snaps they give, plus where they're playing them. So we're going to get into a couple guys as I'm getting ready for that tomorrow. I think we do have some information, at least that I can see from video, trying to process areas of need, any potential ways the team might go. I think we've got some good information. We'll see what you guys have to say. And I would say this, when I give you these videos for thoughts on guys, please give me your comments and thoughts, because this might just be the deepest Detroit Lions team I can ever remember. I started as a reporter covering the Lions in the late 80s. I want to say 89, something like that, right around there for a small town paper. Then by the early mid-90s, I worked for a major paper at the Kalamazoo Gazette before going on to the Associated Press and stuff like that over time. But in where I'm going with that, and all the time I've covered them, either, wherever, this has to be the deepest and toughest positional group you've seen anywhere from all the spots. There are very few spots where you could say this is clearly, hey, A and B player there. Everybody else, is an afterthought. The vast majority of this team, the vast majority of the cuts we're going to see could easily, you could Scooby-Doo it and say, yeah, that guy should have been on the 53-man roster. This other guy should not have been. So, all right, I'm not going to waste a bunch of time with this. I'm going to go ahead and dive right into it. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Let's start with the top. We were talking about, it seems like for about 2 or 3 weeks now, everybody and their mother, I don't care if you're on YouTube or in print media or wherever, ESPN or wherever have you, we've all been talking about the depth at receiver for the Detroit Lions. I've even talked about it. I think the Lions are going to have to probably check the waiver wire or trade possibilities to get another wide receiver on their team. I really like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think everybody's in love with the story that is Jameson Williams. Yes, I do believe Sian Vaki and Gibbs are going to be used as wide receivers at times, but we're also seeing where a lot of these other receivers, it's not that they're horrible, they're just not standing out from one another. They're basically mirrors of each other in respective ways. So with that being said, this yesterday's game, I think, gave us a lot of information, and you're looking for consistency and, as a coach, development. You want to see a clear difference from week 1 to week 2. Here we go. We're going to start it off, and probably not a big surprise here. I'm going to go with the first one, Isaiah Williams. I think he's going to make this team, and I think he's going to make this team better. I think he's going to help out with the kickoff punt return issues. Yes, he's got to clean some stuff up himself, but also he does provide, in an emergency situation, a level of flexibility, which we know this coaching staff wants out of guys. Can you do multiple things to help the team so we have more flexibility in other positions on the team, so we don't have to carry so many here because we can rely on you there? I think he can be quarterback number 3, emergency quarterback, punt kickoff returner, and a wide receiver. In Ben Johnson's offense, going back and watching the coaching film, not just from yesterday, but also from the New York Giants, plus what you could see from the interactive practices with the New York Football Giants, if you can get a copy of those full day of practices, how they're flexing him around the field, I think I've got him on last week's 53-man roster. I had him at the end of the list. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to give spoiler alerts, but I think he's going to move up the list, I guess is what I'd say for it. But that also raises the question, he's so similar to Khalif Raymond and Amon-Ra St. Brown in a lot of their builds and abilities, I think that's going to open up potentially some needs for some other players to emerge. So this is going to lead into the next guy. And that'd be, as it pops up here, hopefully quickly. There you go, Kaden Davis. Davis, hey, he's been around the league a little bit, but he's big by Lions standards. He's just a shade under 6'2". He does have very good vertical leap. He's got a great cone, a window to throw into. He can pursue the ball and go get it. The other part is he does have some pretty good speed. When he came out into the NFL, it was at a 4.44. The last report I can find, at least online, and somebody can feel free to correct me, when he was with the Cardinals, he came in at just a shade over 4.41. So it appears he has gotten slightly faster. 4.4 for a 6'2" wide receiver with a bit of a cone radius to be able to catch the ball. It does seem like a position of need. You've added some wheels, you added some size. I'm not in love with his run blocking. It's there. I just think it can really be improved upon. But I think from what I can see on the tape, that's more coachable stuff. You can coach him up, a bigger body guy with some wheels. And, if he does seem to have the grit that they want all the players to have, just like St. Brown or wherever else, you see all the receivers out there blocking. I think he's got to develop it a little bit more. I'm going to murder this next name, and I apologies in advance for it. But, hey, Mitchell Agude, so I believe that's how you pronounce it. If not, I'm sure you guys will let me know. But I am liking how he's panning out. I'm liking his development. I did not, on my first 53-man roster, having him make the roster. I'm changing that now. I can tell you that when the roster comes out tomorrow. Watching him yesterday and then going back and rewatching how they were using him, the coaching staff in week one, and just in the OTAs, stuff like that. I think there's a strong case here. He's going to push out somebody I don't want pushed out from the Detroit Lions, but I think he's going to add a lot of depth and flexibility. Again, sort of like we're talking about a lot of these guys. This week we were talking, and last week, about Rodrigo. He's a lock to make this team because he can play fullback. He can play tight end. He can play special teams. He can play linebacker. You get it. He helps the team out a lot. We already talked about how Isaiah Williams helps the team out a lot. In the past, I've talked about how Dan Skippers helps the team out a lot because he can play different spots. Makai Wingo can play inside and outside of the defensive line. And you get the gist. The more you can do, the more intrinsic value you have. I think that's going to be the place with Agude as well. I think he gives you a lot of flexibility, some on offense, some on special teams, and definitely some pursue, close on the quarterback. His coverage actually wasn't bad either. So these are the three I've got so far. There were a couple others, but I was like, save some stuff for tomorrow and the full reveal, the 53-man roster. Well, let's see what you guys have to say. If you guys have some other thoughts, whether it's for these guys or against them or for some other players, by all means, throw them out and let me know. I know some of the graphics I had to do super fast, so they're maybe not the greatest. But if you guys enjoy me putting the graphics up there, guys, let me know that too in the comment section. All right, let's go ahead and get over to it and see what you guys have to say. Mile marker, Lions, looking forward to hearing your ideas, Coach. And now you got them. You ask, you shall receive. Jason, Superdome or bust. Anything less than that would be a felony. I'll go with that. Hatman, hey, Coach, made it live. Come on in. You're always welcome here, my friend. See, Stephanie, woo! Shouldn't you be out working? Maybe today's your day off. I really don't know. So hopefully you just enjoy it either way. See, buddy, good afternoon, Duke Crew. Back at you, buddy. Hopefully it's an outstanding day. Mr. Nico, this is our season to lose. This is our season to win and win it all, I think, my friend. I think the Detroit Lions are going to win it all, and I'm really loving. The more I watch the tapes, and I get a lot of it's very vanilla on offense and defense, but watching some of the stuff, and I'm just going to talk about the defense real quick. Watching what Aaron Glenn did in that game yesterday to try to undercut some of the receiver routes that KC prefers to run, where they can nickel and dime you and then open up some over-the-top passes. Yes, there was a miscommunication. I think it was on the first drive where they got one deep on us. But outside of that, I really liked the aggressive play of the cornerbacks. I thought they threw off some timing of the Kansas City Chiefs. And actually, if you watch Patrick Mahomes and his nonverbal body language, he got frustrated a couple different times. He went to pull up the pass. You could see the shoulder start flinching to make that throw, and then he has to cut it off and start scrambling. That's a credit to the secondary. That's also a credit to the pressure some of these backups were putting on him from the defensive front. And this was without blitzing. The Lions did throw a few blitzes and stunts and pulls in there, here and there, but nothing over the top. And I think the fact that you were able to do that to Kansas City's starting offense with guys that are going to be the 2s and even some 3s. I thought that was a big credit to AG right there. I know he's under some heat this year, but I would say this. I think we should look forward to a very good defensive year from the Detroit Lions. Hey, man, boy, our defense looked fantastic yesterday. And Baki, woo! Yeah, I think Sion's going to play a lot more than just running back. Watching some of his stuff, and most of this is going to come from when they did the joint practices with the Giants, but I do think they're going to use him a lot at receiver. You're going to see him at fullback sometimes too, and some two running back setups. So I think they've got some things really planned for the core 4 running backs. I'm going to have to term that, by the way, the core 4 running backs. All right, Jason, expectations have never been higher. I would agree. I can't go back anywhere in my notes and find anything where I could say this far into preseason, their coaches probably have got about 30 guys locked up, and another 30, they're like, man, I don't know. We could go in any which way we want to go. And this is even with a couple of guys banged up. There was one guy, and I'm not going to give a spoiler. You have to wait for tomorrow's show. But there was one guy on the offensive line that I thought was an absolute lock. He was like the first pick I had for the backup offensive lineman spots. But after watching the performances yesterday, man, he might not actually make the team. And again, I'll save that for tomorrow. But you've got so much depth on this team. It's just fun watching from a coaching standpoint. And these guys know it. You can totally tell when they're on the sidelines. I'm competing with you for this spot. I know it. You could see a couple of guys started getting a little away from each other. It's just you could see when that guy came off the field. The other guy he's competing with was watching. He could see the guy just did well. So, anyways, we'll watch those sidelines. I think it's going to be a fun week for this. Pat, hey, Coach. Woo! Oh, yeah. We'll go on with that. And thank you, Pat, for that. Trey, what's going on, Dan and the Duke Crew? Not too much. How about you? James, I think I skipped you, so I'm sorry about that. I think Hooker did enough to be quarterback too. I really liked his progression yesterday. But I'm also not going to throw any shade towards Nate, the not so great Sudfeld. I thought he did show some clear signs of development too. If he can clean up that accuracy, I think we might have a dogfight going into the final 53-man reveal. So I get Hooker's, in my opinion, he should win it. He's younger. He's a rookie. In my opinion, he's a rookie. He's got more upside than what I think Nate Sudfeld does. But that doesn't mean Nate Sudfeld couldn't be on the practice squad and a real great security blanket for the team. All right, Anthony, afternoon, Duke Group, back at you. Hopefully you're having a good one there, Anthony. Buddy, woo! All right, we'll go with that. Justin, what's up, guys? What's up, you? Brent, Lions, let's see, push up. All right, Isaiah Williams looked like a number 14 clone. Oh, yeah? Yeah, there are some similarities. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the season, assuming Isaiah Williams makes the team, where he looks a lot more like St. Brown. I think they're going to spend some time together. St. Brown is going to probably help nurture him along because, to be honest, there could be some answers. I know my brother Tim was talking to me about this today too. Maybe the Lions address the wide receiver problem too by keeping 4 tight ends, and maybe Sam Laporta operates as your big or your X receiver out on the sidelines. I could see that being a possibility as well. Buddy, Houston is gone. Sorry, Coach. Hey, we'll see what happens, but I would say this: Houston. It's a lot's going to come down to this week with him. I get he's hurt, but your best attribute has to be availability. And unfortunately, he's not been proving to be available very much here. He's going to have a very good week. Maybe they've already made up their mind. I don't know. Obviously, you guys all know I think incredibly highly of James Houston. I don't want to see him out of here. I think he's very rare, but we'll see what shakes out. Pat, what did you think about the D.E. Bates from last night? I'll say that he's got some potential. I just think, in my opinion, Pat, at this point, he's on the wrong side of the numbers game. Rewatching a sack, I think a lot of that could go on the right tackle that just whiffed on the blocking. I mean, that guy almost fell down on his butt. But I do like what he's doing out there. I like what he did yesterday a whole lot better than what I saw on tape against the Giants. It's just going to come down to numbers. You got so many dudes battling for those last couple spots, and there's just going to be small nuances that make the differences between them. To me, though, Pat, the biggest reason why I haven't kept him on versus some of the other ones is just a numbers game in regards to his age. He's 30. Some of these other guys are 23, 24, and they're rookies. They've got more upside. So, yes, the dogs are barking in agreement with me on there, if you guys can hear them. James Williams or Davis, I think they both make it. I will give you a preview of tomorrow in this regard. I've got them both making the wide receiver group now. And I won't talk about the rest of it. I'll save that for tomorrow. Buddy, Donovan Peoples-Jones is gone. He's got to do himself some real favors this week. Hey, man, what I see from Betts yesterday, I think he is in, but still be a project, but by midseason a beast. Could be. Yeah, and that's where it's going to come down to. Do the coaching staff look at him and say, we can still get more out of him? Or do they look at one of these 21, 22, 23-year-olds and say, they're close to about the same, but obviously they've got more time to develop them? That's going to be a coaching call, in my opinion. Jason Williams looked good. He did indeed. Anthony Williams looked really good. I will go with that. Craig Reynolds might be cut. He's in a dogfight. I'll put it that way. I think they're only going to keep 4 running backs. I don't see us keeping 5. Whoever gets cut, if they're not picked up by somebody else, they will be on the practice team, though. I would guess that. Let's see. Justin, Isaiah Williams definitely making the 53. If this keeps up, I think St. Brown and Cleef will be able to run some deep routes, giving the slot to Isaiah there, here and there. I think Amara was already talking about. Yeah, could be 100%. Being used as the X if you want or wanting to. Yes, I think they're going to use him all over the place because teams are going to defend St. Brown a little differently. The trouble, you could see it last year, later in the season, when St. Brown was really having a good run to end the year. Teams were trying to take him away, squeeze him and pitch him, guy inside, guy over the top, force him to the sideline. And what that did, though, that opened up Laporta a ton and Jameson or Josh Reynolds and other people. It's hard to double and take away 2 outside threats. And that's why I think other teams are really in a bad situation with the Lions. You can take away 1. You can't really take away 2 unless you're only sending 3 guys after the quarterback. And if you're going to send only 3, that quarterback, Goff or whoever, has probably got a whole lot of time to nickel and dime you down the field. All right, let's see. James, he's got chemistry with Hooker. He does. Anthony, I believe Reynolds and Houston might be cut. They're both in trouble, I think. They're in trouble. James, Sion was a beast. I love this guy. Yeah, you could see why USC fans were not a fan of him. Glad to see him graduate. Let's see. Justin, trade not cut. Yeah, it could be there to trade it too, 100%. Buddy, Davis and Williams look good. They both did. The Lions got some outstanding depth. I think nobody is debating that. This team, this may be the greatest Lions team since the 1950s. I don't want to disrespect on any teams that won world championships. Even though it's not called the Super Bowl, you won a world championship. You're pretty damn good. This team hasn't done that yet. But I would say at this point, I used to think the 91 team was the greatest team I had ever seen. This team has the potential to supersede that one. Let's see, Justin, I could see if they feel they can get someone else they want who comes in available. Yeah, I could see some of these guys getting traded if you feel like you can upgrade other spots for sure. Pat, nice to see our kicker rock yesterday. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of the worries about him are probably gone right now on the sidelines. You're probably not worried too much. In case you're wondering who that is, Jake Bates. So I can go and throw that up there since I already had it programmed in. So there you go. All right, now I got to get off the screen so we can get back to the comment section. All right, getting back to the comments here. Let's see, where did I leave off, buddy? Skipper had an ankle injury. Yeah, it doesn't sound like anything big. Let's see, Anthony, the graphics are smiley face. I'll go with that. Thank you for that, by the way. Sudfield, not Sudfield. All right, we'll go with that. Or, yeah, well, I don't know what's going to happen with him, man. But thanks for that, John. Thank you very much. Anthony, I agree with your choices. Thank you for that. Hey, you can agree or disagree here. I'm okay with being open-minded to all of them. I think those 3, from what you could see, they're going to make it. They're now in. Let's see, Courtney, Isaiah, Mitchell, Agude. Boy, I'm going to kill his name. I had it down. Now I forgot to say it. Sion Vaki. There you go. All the above. I'll say that. Agude. There you go. Let's see. Gary would say, Justin, Gary, I think Denver isn't looking to deal Sutton, in all honesty. In a real build, you need some consistency bets, consistent bets. Glue guys. I think with them getting rid of their other guy, they won't want to make another move. Yeah, they're probably going to keep some guys, but somebody else might be willing to part ways. See, Bo, I just got in. I'll have to replay to know what's up. Woo! And good woo to you too, Bo. See, Brent, I could care less about the graphics coach. Your content is what matters. Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm just trying to, keep ending the show. Hopefully you guys have a little fun with it too. And you know what? I have a little fun messing with it, learning some new things too. So all the things can be true and hopefully help out. Jeff, my guess is they pick up a wide receiver when the cuts begin or they make a trade. Both of those could be options, Jeff. 100% there. JK bought in a new pistol named it Vaki. There you go. And he's ready and loaded. See, Justin, I want to see them get an edge when cuts happen personally. It might happen. Man, who do you get? I don't know. We'll wait and see what they do. Justin, I don't know if Betts is a guy, needs to rewatch the game, but I don't see a lot of happening. Yeah, I think right now I've got him on the outside looking in. He's got 1 week to boot off or to kind of supplant one of the other guys who are kind of on the bubble. See, Pat, he looked good yesterday. He did get one real good move and a couple other nice cleanups on run defense. Matrix 6, what do you got? I simmed a Lions season in Madden 25, and Lions finished with a top 12 defense. I'll take that, man. Yeah, Madden, man, that's right. It did come back out this week. See, Gary, you might be right, Justin. I was going to buy some of the Broncos websites for that information. Yeah, you could go buy that. It's all Scooby-Doo fest right now, a guessing game. Wait and see what shakes out. See, Brent, is Mitchie a possibility from Texans? I liked him coming out of college. That I don't know. I'll have to try to find out. I'll get back to you. James Hooker needs to win it because I'm done with Sudfield and have been. I think a lot of people are on that same bandwagon there, James. Let's see. Matthew, Dan Campbell said Donovan Peoples-Jones have started to show some things in practice. He may make it to the 53. He may, man. When I watch, I want to see separation. Can you throw or can you run a quarterback's pass open? Yesterday when I watched him, I just didn't see a lot of that. Now, maybe I haven't watched the right film. Maybe the defenders were that good. That part I don't know. Anthony, Houston is not opening eyes. No, especially with missing most of yesterday. I don't think he changed his situation much. It's Pat. What does it mean that Jack Campbell, getting the green dot, is Anzalone getting moved out? No, I just think they're going to play Jack or Captain Jack, whatever you want to call him, as basically your Mike backer. They're going to move Anzalone to the strong side, and I think Derek Barnes is going to go to the Sam or the weak side backer spot. So we'll see what happens, but that's my anticipation with that. Ed, the excitement builds 1,000%. Hopefully the fishing is going well there, Ed. See, Matthew, I want Isaiah Williams in the mix. He can be put out there. You don't want to risk St. Brown. Also, if St. Brown gets injured, then he can step in. Yeah, I'll go with that. See, JK, I bet teams are waiting until Lions cut down to a 53-man roster to stammer guys. Mostly everyone did great. Yeah, the one thing is, unless you're at the bottom of last year's record, you're not probably getting a lot of our cuts. That's where I think some people might step up and try to trade for some of our guys, just because if they want said player, they know that's the only way that player is going to make it to them. See, James, if you keep both Williams and Davis, then Fountain, Donovan Peoples-Jones are done. Yeah, and right now, I mean, maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones makes it as the sixth receiver or something. I'm just not seeing where he mathematically makes it. I think Davis, I mean, he has gotten some reps during training camp with the ones. Donovan Peoples-Jones hasn't. Fountain had, but he seems to be falling out of favor. And then, oh boy, I forget the other guy who hurt his hand yesterday. Used to play with the Saints. I can't remember his name offhand. I think he's basically cut now from the team. And it's like Christmas Eve in August. There you go. It's Pat. I think you are correct, James. Courtney, JMO, and Leaf go deep. There it could be. Saint and Laporta and Isaiah underneath. There you go. Lions King, I was wrong. I'm betting against bets. There could be, man. A lot of people might be. Brent laughed when I heard someone called Bates Legatron. Now, that's a good one. I'm going to steal that one, Brent, and thank you for that. Legatron. Jeff, Houston is loaded at wide receiver. They will have to cut someone. Could be Lions target. That could be. Maybe we do a swap with them. See, Eric, what do you think? Beyond Pan, I liked him a little bit yesterday. I think he's got some what they're looking for, especially to contribute on depth and special teams. I did have on my first 53-man roster, he was going to be one of the emergency fullbacks, even a tight end spot, because he has done that in the past. So he would add that value as well. Robert, Lions rule, Bears barf. All right, fair enough, Robert. Pat, I think there's a good chance they keep 4 tight ends and only 4 or 5 receivers. I had heard speculation on that, and I wouldn't disagree with it. The tight end group is pretty dang deep and skillful. So could it be that, like I was mentioning earlier, Pat, could it be that Sam Laporta gets used as a 3 or 4 receiver along with Gibbs and Baki in that mix as well? It's very possible. Buddy, Hope Hooker starts next game, giving the bubble players the best chance to be evaluated. Yeah, and that could be exactly where they go. All right, Silver, I'm really not understanding how could people believe that Sudfield could make the team in place of Hooker, who was a potential first-round pick. Yeah, I don't see him beating out Hooker, but you know it's not our call; it's the coaches. And right now, they do seem to be favoring him. See, Hatman, Robert Yankee, I left before your question yesterday. Okay. Hatman went to the rodeo at halftime yesterday and got poured on for 15 minutes. Oh, yeah. Silver Server, and even sign another quarterback for what? Question mark. Put Hooker on practice squad and be gone. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. If you're going to bring in another quarterback, you're keeping Hooker on the 53, which means obviously now you got to take away from another spot. Bo, Boom Boom Bates. Oh, yeah. You mean Legatron. I am so stealing that one. Robert, glad you're good at Hatman 100%. John, I miss Josh Reynolds. Yeah, there'll probably be until somebody else emerges or until we see what Ben Johnson's master plan is. There's probably going to be a whole lot of that. Hatman, thanks, Roberts. Gary, sorry about the mix-up. Coach Justin and I were talking about a Cortland Sutherland trade. Yeah, I figured that's where you guys were going. The Bean, do you think the tight end group can fill the perceived lack of wide receiver depth? I do think if you really are going to use Vaki and Gibbs along with 4 tight ends, so like I was saying earlier, Laporta becomes one of your pseudo wide receivers. I do think you can do that. Plus, you'll be able to add to your run blocking assignments too. Robert, this year seems special, possibly divine. I'll go with all that. Def Jeff, wonder what Cortland Sutherland's contract status is. It would look great in Detroit. That I don't know. Somebody would have to research that. Robert, special teams needs attention. I agree with that. Yeah, but I'm sure the coaches will clean it up. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and get out of here. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push for 7,400, about 80 subs away. If you would be so kind, free of charge, takes half second time, hit that thumbs up button. If there is some sort of breaking news today still, I'll get it over to you. Otherwise, take care, enjoy your day, do something kind for someone you don't know. We'll see you on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until